Welcome back to the podcast. I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. Now it's time to get into December 26th. We have a little three-game slate on a Saturday. Saturday, that's funny. On a Saturday, Tampa Bay against Detroit Lions, San Francisco against Arizona Cardinals, and the Miami Dolphins is going up against the Las Vegas Raiders. We're just going to go through each and every position where I think the value is at and where the best plays are. And then from there, you can build your lineup. I'll leave some of the cheaper guys in the lineup on the right side right here, just so you guys can see and remember all the plays I'm going through. And then put in a tournament, see how it goes. All right. And then also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I need feedback from you guys to know what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. And it's just only to better me and better you. All right. So we can communicate with each other. First, we're going to start off with the quarterback position. Kyler Murray is the highest priced quarterback right now, 7,500. Obviously, he has the upside to break the slate, him and Tom Brady, but he goes to the next level because he provides so much rushing ability. As you can see, the last past couple weeks, 29 yards rushing, 47 yards rushing, can even get you a touchdown as well. So he's deadly on the feet, and his arm, Kyler Murray, going up against the San Francisco 49ers, a very poor defense is playing his horrible zone that he can pick apart very easily. So at 7,500, you might want to pay up. If you want to go for a little cheaper option, Tom Brady is going to be my guy. The Detroit Lions have a horrible, horrible defense, especially secondary wise after losing Darius Slay. And then Tom Brady has so many weapons. Is the reason why he came over to Tampa Bay. He's going to have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski. This man is, set up with all the toys and gifts that he wants, and all he has to do is get them the ball. That's it. Let these guys connect, and he just needs to throw them touchdowns. As you've seen that nice deep pass that he connected with Antonio Brown last week, is only going to get better and better. So if you don't feel like paying up for 7,500 for Kyler Murray, Tom Brady at 6,800 is also a good choice. Matt Stafford is going to be in a negative game script. He is one of the cheaper quarterbacks at 5,600. Obviously, Tampa Bay is going to be up, and Detroit is going to be in catch-up mode. So he's going to be slinging it. I understand he has a questionable tag with that rib and right thumb injury. So he won't be 100%, but this dude is one of the toughest quarterbacks in the NFL. He's finished games with broken ribs, and he's done so many crazy things. Matthew Stafford is someone you could trust at 5,600, but it's not likely. The next guy we're looking at is going to be Tua Tagovailoa. The rookie has played solid, not too great. Still a little turnover prone, even though he doesn't even throw that much. But the upside is there with the game script. Las Vegas has a horrible, horrible defense. They get picked apart. I think this might be the worst defense on the slate. So looking at him, Tua, at 5,400 is something I might consider. Tom Brady has the upside, like I said, with like 3-4 touchdowns. And then Kyler Murray has that dual threat ability. So does Tua. Tua has that dual threat ability and is facing a worse defense in the Raiders. So they're already at a playoff contention. I think it's pretty much, down for them. They might even switch quarterbacks because the way Mariota was playing last week, he might deserve another shot over Derek Carr. But Tua Tagovailoa at 5,400, definitely viable. And I think that's it. You don't want to go to C.J. Beathard taking over for Mullins and taking over for Jimmy Garoppolo. He's just the fill-in. 5K, I already gave you a cheap guy. C.J. Beathard is the third-string quarterback. I do not want to trust him against a very opportunistic Arizona Cardinals defense. So we're going to move on to the running back position. And in this case, I'm going to lock in, this is my favorite play of the whole entire slate. We're going to lock in Leonard Fournette with Ronald Jones on COVID. It's COVID, right? I'm pretty sure it's COVID. Yeah. With Ronald Jones with a finger issue and COVID, Leonard Fournette is propelled in a number one situation. We saw what he did against Atlanta. He wasn't very super productive because he had those 2 touchdowns, didn't get many yards, but He tacked on some extra yardage and some receptions later in that second half. He's going to get all the work in this offense. Don't even look at the fact that he was a healthy scratch a couple weeks ago. This is a situation where they wanted to focus on Ronald Jones, but since Ronald Jones is injured, Leonard Fournette is thrusted in that position, and he's going to get upwards from 15 to 20 touches in this game against a very porous defense in the Detroit Lions. So Leonard Fournette is 100% lock at 5,500. We're going to put him there. The highest price running back we have is Josh Jacobs. I was on him, what was it, a Thursday or 2 Thursdays ago? He came through. It was actually last week with the 20 DK. I put him as my thumbnail. It was solid play, but this is not a situation where I want to use him. Miami's rush defense is pretty decent, but I think I like better plays other than Josh Jacobs paying up for him. You can if you want to, but already Fournette is my number one. Josh Jacobs is a guy that I'm looking towards in the middle. DeAndre Swift in a game script where they're going to be down is someone I'm looking at more than Josh Jacobs because this is another dual threat guy. Since they're going to be in catch-up mode, you see it in his previous game against Tennessee. They were down 20-plus points, so that means he's going to get receptions, and that means he's going to get you a point per catch and have the opportunity to get rushing touchdowns as well. So DeAndre Swift is definitely hands down. I like him more than Josh Jacobs at 6,400. Any other running back we're looking at? We got Mostert on the IR, but that is a very, very ugly situation. I don't want to trust Tevin Coleman or Jerick McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon does have some appeal at 4K actually. Since Mostert is out, he will get third down work, Jerick McKinnon. As you saw last week, he got 2 receptions for 22 yards. So he's viable as a punt if you don't like any other options. But there's plenty other. I told you Leonard Fournette. I told you DeAndre Swift, who's super, super explosive. So those two guys I'm going to lean towards more than getting toward, to that 4K area in Jerick McKinnon. Another running back, I'm not going to touch the backs in Miami. You got Ahmed and Myles Gaskins. They're splitting work. It's a very, very good situation. But since Gaskins is back, he should be thrusted in that number one role. And then Ahmed will be, back serving the secondary role. But we got to see how it breaks out. We're not sure if they like Ahmed more or if they like Myles Gaskin. So it's more of a coin flip situation for the Miami Dolphins backfield. Another option that we kind of do like in this game script that should be a blowout between Arizona and San Francisco is going to be between Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds. If Chase Edmonds is out, you get Kenyon Drake full workload. And you can get weeks like he did against week 14 and week 12, where he had 23 attempts, a couple of catches, and then in week 12 where he had 22 attempts and a couple of catches. So some upside for 20 DK and more. So those are some decent options. Let me see Chase Edmonds on the news on him. He's questionable for Saturday with an ankle and knee situation. So please monitor that on Roto World. They'll give you a full-time update probably Saturday morning on him. And then just adjust. If he's out, then you'll play more Drake. If he's in, then you'll fade away and stick with the guys I told you before. Fournette, DeAndre Swift, maybe Myles Gaskin since he's back and healthy. So you got a couple decent options here, but I would avoid Josh Jacobs. Next position, we're going to go into wide receiver, and we're just going to piggyback off the quarterbacks that I liked already. So if I like Kyler Murray, you want to pair him with the number one wide receiver that he has, and that's going to be DeAndre Hopkins. Each and every week, he is providing double-digit targets. This guy hasn't let you down in a very, very long time. That New England game, but that's more, you understand that Stephon Gilmore and some other good corners that they have in that secondary. But Hopkins at 8,300 is someone you can pay for. If you don't trust Hopkins and you're looking for another wide receiver on Arizona, then Christian Kirk at 3,800. It's been a minute since he had a little bit of a breakout game because mid-season he was kind of turning up with 26 and 20 and 22 DK in 3 straight games. So he's definitely a viable punt play at 3,800 going up against this bad secondary. So Christian Kirk, DeAndre Hopkins, all viable. at the wide receiver position. Another guy I'm looking at, Brandon Ayuk has been pretty hot of lately, especially with Deebo Samuel out, and he's been the main focus for the San Francisco 49ers offense. I think he's pretty safe. It doesn't matter which quarterback takes over. He's been getting peppered with targets each and every week. So you see right here, week 10, he had 14. Week 13, he had 9. And then the last 2 weeks, 29 total targets in the last 2 weeks, which is pretty insane. Brandon Ayuk is a safe option to have in there as well. And Tom Brady. Now, all these guys are 6K and below. You can probably pick 2 of these guys and be happy with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown. You pick and choose. My favorite option will probably be Mike Evans because he's used more in a red zone area. Chris Godwin is more the intermediate guy, and then Antonio Brown has been the deep guy for Tom Brady as of late. So the chemistry is just going to keep growing with these 3 wide receivers and Tom Brady. So, like I said, it's going to get better and better. You pick and choose. These are all viable options. And then next, Kenny Galladay is out, so Marvin Jones is viable at 4,900. Remember, you got to wait on Matt Stafford. As long as he's in, he should get peppered with targets. Week 15, 12 targets, 10 receptions, 112 yards, and a TD. Insane game from Marvin Jones in that contest. And then if we see any cheaper guys going down, Nelson Aguilar at 4,500 is viable in that Raiders offense, but you really want Darren Waller at tight end. And other than that, Lynn Bowden has been coming on as of late for Miami, connecting with Tua Tagovailoa. So I like Lynn Bowden for a cheap punt play. And if Devontae Parker is healthy, then I'll feel comfortable running him and Tua together in most lineups. But Lynn Bowden is definitely one of my favorite punt plays. Let me put him in here so you guys can see. And then let's move over to the tight end position. Kittle is going to be back and healthy. He'll be activated, but it's going to be C.J. Beathard. And you're never going to get Kittle at this price ever again at 5K. So I think you should take full advantage of this. A lot of people are going to be on Darren Waller because he's just a monster. But I think there's value on Kittle at 5K. You're never going to see this again. Like I said already, this is take advantage, please. Other than those 2 at the top, TJ Hockenson has been consistent most of the weeks, as you can see from week 14 and below. He's going to get you 10 DK plus each and every week. Other than that, Gronkowski, I do like. He's one of Tom Brady's favorite red zone targets, still getting peppered in that red zone area and throughout the 20s. Okay. Dan Arnold is questionable. If he's out, I'm not really going to the backup tight end on that offense. Jordan Reed is now out of the picture, with George Kittle at the helm. And there's no other cheap tight end that I would like to choose. Yeah, all these other guys are more blocking tight ends, and they don't get enough, snaps to be viable plays. So let me know how you guys feel. Do you agree with my plays? If not, please comment below. But I'm rolling with these guys that you see over here, either Murray or Tom Brady. I do like Tua as a cheap punt. Leonard Fournette is my lock at running back. Lynn Bowden is my favorite punt wide receiver. And tight end, put Kittle in each and every lineup. It's only a 3-game slate. You don't need to get cute. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessageSD. And peace out.